Hi, I'm Aaliyah Woods, co-founder and farm manager for CommonWealth Urban Farms. This is our Beginning Gardener video series designed to help you have a successful garden even if you've never planted a seed in your life. Today we're going to plant okra! This is Oklahoma and we love okra. But first, let's check on our plantings from before. So last week we planted Garlong beans and they're coming up. You can see one right there, the two little leaves. That's our first bean to show its face. Here's some that are just barely starting to poke up. That one's pushing the ground up from the seed. It's just amazing that these little seeds will actually push the ground, push the soil away in order to be able to germinate. Here's another one coming up right there. So they're coming along. The week before that, we planted cucumbers and hyacinth beans. So 2 weeks ago, we planted the hyacinth beans, which will look beautiful growing up this trellis, and the Armenian cucumber, which has those long, curvy kind of cucumbers, fantastic cucumber. So those will grow up the trellis together. Our tomato plant, which is growing great, we're going to nudge it back inside the cage, just like that. There's little blossoms on it. There's a few little cherry tomatoes coming along down here. This is a sun gold tomato. We've got our peppers here, the sweet Marconi, giant red Marconi, and the shishito growing well, and our 2 heads of lettuce that are coming along. 2 weeks ago, we harvested lettuce, and you can see it's really growing back. We could actually harvest again today if we wanted. I think I'll wait till next week. And the arugula, we definitely could harvest today. It grows really fast. We've got some more radishes in here that I think are ready to harvest. We'll pull those out right there. And the Swiss chard is looking nice. A little bit, somebody's eating the leaves some, but it's still coming along. Here's one of our baby Hakurai turnips starting to form the root right there. Okay, now we're going to plant okra. So these are some seedlings that I started about 2 weeks ago in peat pots. We'll plant them directly into the ground, not taking the pots away from the seedlings. This is a variety called Clemson Spineless, which is an old open pollinated variety. It's a standard for southern growers. Very reliable, very productive, great tasting okra. You can also plant okra directly from seed. This is a variety called Burgundy okra, has really pretty reddish colored pods. If you're starting in pots, you'll get the fastest germination if the soil temperature is around 80 to 85 degrees. Okra likes it hot. If you're direct seeding outside, the soil temperature probably isn't going to be that hot. But wait until it gets to be about 70 or 75 degrees. Okra really needs warm soil to germinate. So you can use a thermometer, a soil thermometer, to see the temperature. This is a cute little pocket thermometer. So you just get it like this, stick it in the soil, leave it there for a little bit to make sure that you get a good reading on it. So we can see that our soil temperature is a little over 70 degrees. So we're good to go. So we're going to plant some seedlings and some direct seed. When you're planting okra, okra really likes full sun. It likes it hot and sunny. It also gets tall, so plant it someplace where it won't be shading other plants that you want to have in full sun, or where it will provide shade to plants that need a little bit of sun. For instance, you could plant some okra where once it gets tall, it's going to shade something else, like maybe some arugula that you have growing in the summer, which could use a little bit of shade in the afternoon to keep it from getting quite so bitter. All right, so now we're going to plant the seedlings in 2 rows. So we're planting in a raised bed right now that we already had here, so that's very convenient. You could plant in smart pots too, that would be fine. 1 okra plant per smart pot. On these peat pots, make sure the peat pots themselves are good and moist before you plant them, because you want the roots to come through the pot. In fact, you can see on some of them, they are already starting to come through. There, it's coming through the side of the pot. So that's a good sign. We like that. We're going to add a little bit of compost to the soil. So we'll get a handful of compost, work it into the soil right here, and pop one of these little seedlings in there. Make sure that the if you're using peat pots, that it's completely covered up so that it doesn't whip moisture away from the plant. And then we'll go about 1 foot apart and plant another one here. Again, I'm going to drop in a big handful of compost, work it in real quick, and pop in another peat pot. This one has 2. I'm going to pull one out because we just want to have one growing. If we have 2 okra plants growing right next to each other, they're going to compete for space and sun and nutrients. All right, now let's plant a few seeds. So I'm going to make some space here, loosen the soil up a bit, add some compost, and plant the seeds. Okra seeds are nice and big as far as seeds go. Cute little round green things. I'm going to plant 3. We usually get good germination with okra, but when you're direct seeding, there's a little more that's up to chance than when you're seeding in pots to transplant later. So I'll put those right here and cover them up with a little bit of soil. Once again, cover the seed 2 times the thickness of the seed itself when you're planting. And we'll plant another one over here. But first I'm going to mulch these. So you can use straw, usually use straw to mulch, but really any kind of dead plant material is fine. Just don't use something that has seeds on it, like that, because then the seeds may germinate and you're importing seeds into your garden bed. But dead stuff is great. And then we'll mulch the seeds that we planted. Go light over where the seeds are going to come up, because you don't want to block the seeds from getting light or having to push too hard through the soil and mulch. And then we'll plant a few more seeds in that next spot. So that will give us 4 okra plants. If all 3 of my okra seeds germinate, I'll pull 2 out and just leave the strongest, healthiest looking one in place. All right. Now we'll water them in. We had so much rain this week, the soil is moist, so we're just going to water enough to moisten the top of the soil for the seeds. Oops, get that seed packet out of the way. And to settle the soil around the seedlings that we planted. All right, there we go. Okra done. Next week, we're going to plant herbs. Thanks for watching. Happy gardening.